guys, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Let me introduce myself. My name is Silna Muliso, you can call me Silna. And then I want to tell you about the social and communicative base of early language and speech. Let's get started. Alright, infant social and communicative development. Newborn behaviors, vision based at 8 inches. Preferred like dark contrast, angularity, complexity, curvature. Hearing based in frequency range of human voice prefers human voice exhibit entrainment, facial expression. 1 week, self-imitation, reflexive action but treated as meaningful by caregiver. 2 week, distinguishing of caregiver's voice and face. 3 weeks, social smile. 1 month, social visual exchange with caregiver prefers human face to all else. 2 months, queen. 3 months, face alone not enough to hold infant's attention. In response, mother encourages her facial movement. More frequent dialogue, decrease of handling by 30%. Revocalization likely if caregiver verbal response immediately follow child first vocalization. Vocal tone taxing and concurrent vocalization, gaze coupling, ritual and games, face play. 5 months, purposeful facial imitation, vocalization to accompany attitude. 6 months, hand and non-speech imitation. 8 months, gesture. 9 months, imitation of more complicated motor behaviors, following of maternal pointing. 11 months, respond to about half of maternal verbal and non-verbal requests. 1 year or 12 months, use of word to feel communicative function established by gesture.
Hi everyone, before we start our presentation today, let me introduce myself. My name is Cynthia Fujilestari, my student number is 008. So the next material we will talk about chain action, game playing, sequence of social play, routines, turn taking, and situational variations. First things we will talk about is about chain action. Chain action is routinized action that happens throughout the first year of life. A caregiver and infant develop shared behaviors in familiar contexts. From these routines, a child learns turn taking and conversational skills. Game playing. During the first 6 months, the focus of play is social. There are no specific game rules. Social play is usually spontaneous and occurs frequently during routines. Once play begins, all other tasks end. During the second 6 months of life, object play increases. Object play is almost non-existent at 3 months of age. By 6 months, play often begins with the body but is repeated with a toy. Next sequence of social play. 2 episodes of the play sequence that may occur several times per minute are engagement and timeout. Each sequence begins with a greeting that is less full than the initial greeting. Generally, each episode has one major purpose: to establish intentions, attentions, to maintain attentions, or to enter into play. Next is routines. Routines provide scripts that have slots of the infant's behavior and aid meaningful interpretation of events. The infant learns a script and this, in turn, eases participation. Infants even knowledge, which is one of conceptual foundation of later language development. Later, this knowledge is translated into the semantic categories of early speech. When children begin to talk, they display greater semantic complexity and range, longer utterance, and more unique words in these familiar situations. Next, we will talk about turn-taking. In very early feeding session, turn-taking occurs as a mother fits her behavior into her infant's rhythms. For example, initially mothers jiggle the nipples to increase or to elicit feeding. Infants respond by decreasing their sucking behavior. Thus, early feeding behaviors represent a pattern of turn-taking. At 3 or 2 months of age, the infant responds or attends quietly. Gaze, facial expression, body movement, or vocalization can all feel a turn. A set of conversational behaviors evolves from these infant turn-feeling behaviors, such as the development of reciprocal and alternating patterns of vocalizations called proto-conversations. Gestures and later words will develop to fill an infant's turn as true conversation develop. Last, we will talk about situational variations. Mothers use a variation of naturally occurring situations to facilitate language and communication development. 8 interactional situations accounted for almost all locational activities for 3 months old infants. These situations are mother sleep, crib or bed, infant seat, table or tub, couch or sofa, playpen, floor, and chamber or swing. Of developmental importance is the frequency of vocalization within each situation. Within each situation, certain infant motor behaviors occur regularly as the basis for a child's development of meaning, which emerges from non-random action sequences, especially vocalization sequences associated with different situational locations. That's all from me. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Hida. Next, maternal communication behavior. The foundation for infant caregiver face-to-face exchange in the modification made by an adult to accommodate a child. The caregiver monitors the infant state to determine the right time to begin an exchange, and then obtains the child's attention to optimize the interaction. Once the exchange begins, the adult modifies her or his behavior to maintain the child's interest. Next, infant elicited social behavior. Caregiver foundation for face-to-face communication. Behavior. Preparatory activity. Description. Free infant from physiological state dominance. Example. Reduce interference of hunger or fatigue. Soothe or calm infant when upset. Next, behavior state setting activity. Description. Manipulate physical environment to optimize interaction. Example. Move into infant's visual field. Attention by modifying vocalization. Behavior. Maintenance of communication framework. Description. Use of continuates by caregiver. Example. Modulate speech, rhythmic tapping and patting, rhythmic body movement, provide infant with a focus of attention and action, a set of timing marker, and then we have your infant-like modification of adult action. Description, variation of caregiver activity in rate, intensity, modulation, amplitude, and quality from nurse of adult to adult. Example, use baby talk to slow and exaggerate. Then, IDS or infant directed speech. A characteristic of infant directed speech: short utterance length, mean utterance length as few as 2.6 morpheme, and simple syntax, small core vocabulary, usually object-centered, topics limited to here and now, heightened use of facial expression and gestures, frequent questioning and greeting, treating of infant behavior as meaningful, episodes of maternal utterance, paralinguistic modification of pitch and loudness, frequent verbal rituals. Next, interaction between infant and caregiver. 1. Joint reference. Joint reference is particularly important for language development because it's within this context that infants develop gestural, vocal, and verbal signal of directly attending or signaling notice. Many words, such as look, serve a notice function. A child calls attention to an object, event, or action in the environment by naming it, thus conveying the focus of his or her attention to a conversational partner. Theory of mind. You might recall that theory of mind is the understanding of the mental states and behavior of others. So, the reference function established months before meaningful language appeared is the vehicle for the development of naming and establishing a topic. More important, joint reference provides one of the earliest opportunity for the infant to engage in a truly communicative act of sharing information. Specific speech and language skills develop as more precise means to transmit the signal to a communication partner. Thank you. Treating of infant behavior as meaningful, episodes of maternal utterance, paralinguistic modification of pitch and loudness, frequent verbal rituals. Next, interaction between infant and caregiver. 1. Joint reference. Joint reference is particularly important for language development because it's within this context that infants develop gestural, vocal, and verbal signal of directly attending or signaling notice. Many words, such as look, serve a notice function. A child calls attention to an object, event, or action in the environment by naming it, thus conveying the focus of his or her attention to a conversational partner. Theory of mind. You might recall that theory of mind is the understanding of the mental states and behavior of others. So, the reference function established months before meaningful language appeared is the vehicle for the development of naming and establishing a topic. More important, John reference provides one of the earliest opportunity for the infant to engage in a truly communicative act of sharing information. Specific speech and language skills develop as more precise means to transmit the signal to a communication partner. Thank you.